This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Daoulas Brothers Construction.
Good morning and thank you to everyone tuning in to this edition of the LCTV News. I'm Dani Vittori and you're in for an episode of community activism, city updates, and sports highlights, including an interview with the new CEO of Lynn Community Health Center, where she discusses her vision for the future. Here's the news for Friday, April 19th, 2024. Superintendent Yvonne Alvarez has announced the appointment of Dr. Christina Colea as the new Special Education Administrator for Lynn Public Schools. She's been working as the interim Special Education Administrator since November of 2023 and was officially voted into the role by the school committee on April 11, 2024. Dr. Colea is in her 20th year with Lynn Public Schools, serving for 7.5 years at Shoemaker Elementary, where she worked to ensure that students with disabilities got the support they need. In her current role, she will oversee the implementation of special education programs while collaborating with educators, families, and students to develop individualized programs, manage funding, and ensure compliance with legal requirements. One of her major philosophies is communication, recognizing its role in fostering strong connections, partnering with outside providers, and collaborating with administrators. The Food Project is launching a new pollinators program this summer for youth entering 8th grade. There will be 2 sessions, first from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. July 1st through the 12th in Greater Boston, then from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. August 5th through the 12th on the North Shore, and applicants must be able to attend the entire 2-week program. Applications with a recommendation are due by May 3rd and are reviewed on a rolling basis with an admission cost of $700 if accepted. At the camp, youth will participate in hands-on activities, workshops, and a backpack farm share, teaching them valuable information about sustainable agriculture, food production systems, culinary recipes, and food justice. In response to the growing housing crisis in Massachusetts, the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities is hosting 15 listening sessions across the Commonwealth, beginning with Lynn this past week. A large crowd gathered at North Shore Community College to hear from the EOHLS and participate in breakout groups. This was followed by a brief tour of the Lynn Armory, which is set to become housing for veterans. On Thursday, April 11th, a Housing Advisory Council listening session was held at North Shore Community College, followed by a tour of the Lynn Armory on South Common Street.
This is a Commonwealth, and we are only going to get out of this housing crisis if we act as a Commonwealth, if we act together, if we put our best ideas together and work as a collaborative unit. But the legislature, the governor, lieutenant governor created the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. Massachusetts hadn't had a cabinet-level housing agency for 40 years. God knows if there was ever a moment we needed somebody, a team of folks focused on housing, now is the moment. We didn't get into this crisis by accident. It was 40-plus years of not building enough housing, not prioritizing housing.
At the session, community members shared their goals to increase housing options to meet the overwhelming demand in Massachusetts.
We talked about some of the challenges that comes up around data and lack of data availability in helping us know what types of units we need to build more of.
The cities of Lynn and Chelsea in particular were highlighted with some of the innovative collaborations that they are working on. When we heard the word collaboration, I think about 10 times in that discussion of strategies, whether it's nonprofits collaborating together, or cities and nonprofits collaborating, or tenants collaborating together.
Ed Augustus, Secretary of the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, concluded the session before moving to the Armory.
And I think we're on the right path between the Affordable Homes Act, which we're hoping gets over the finish line. It is the biggest housing bill in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's $4.1 billion over the next 5 years.
The Lynn Armory has stood vacant for a decade, but is being transformed into 52 new units of veteran housing, 16 studios, 35 one-bedrooms, and 1 two-bedroom. In 2018, the property was transferred from state control to LHAND. At this time, a contractor has been selected, and they are in the planning stages. For LCTV News, I'm Dani Vittori. April is Earth Month, and the City of Lynn is encouraging residents to take part in activities protecting our planet. This includes participating in a park cleanup, joining a community garden, taking a walk or bike ride, or a green effort of your choosing. Submit a picture of you doing one of these activities or a statement on how you care for the planet to the City of Lynn social media page or Valerie Vong. To see the full list of Earth Month suggestions and Valerie's email, go to lyntv.org. Participants will receive an official Earth Month citation from Mayor Nicholson. The spring street sweeping schedule for the city has been released, beginning on April 22nd and continuing through May 15th. This is a tentative schedule, given changes can occur based on weather and equipment availability, and often do. April will cover all of Wards 1 through 3 and begin Precinct 4 of Ward 4. In May, the remainder of Ward 4 will be completed, as well as Wards 5 through 7. The final day, May 15th, is currently slated as a touch-up day. You can access the full schedule on lyntv.org as well as the city website to see when you will have to move your vehicle for street sweeping. The Lynn Housing Authority held a youth survey awareness event at the Democus YMCA on the afternoon of the 16th. Done every other year, the survey is directed towards those aged 18 to 25 who are experiencing homelessness now or have in the past, in order to better understand what resources they need.
My name is Alex Hansen. I started as a Youth Action Board member, meaning I am a person with lived experience, and what that means is I have experienced homelessness. And I started going to what's called the Youth Action Board meetings, where we have monthly meetings to talk about things that are happening in the community and to also create advocacy throughout Essex County. And I started going to these meetings when I was 18, and I found out that they were hiring for this position currently that I am in. And once I applied, I got the job, and then I started as the YHCP and YEB organizer for Lynn Housing. So this event is for 18 to 24-year-olds who have experience of youth homelessness, preferably currently homeless, only because we are doing a survey that is a month long, April 1st to April 31st, and it is a survey that collects data for youth homelessness to better services and make sure that we have all the data collection that we need to advocate for better services and better organizing and all that kind of stuff when it comes to advocacy. We have a survey that is going on, we have some free resources, we have free food, we have games that are happening, and we have all sorts of stuff that we are trying to do to make better advocacy throughout the state. The survey is biannually, and the importance of it is to make sure that there is youth voice when it comes to the state level organization of services and making sure that people are aware of the barriers that youth are currently going through when it comes to youth homelessness, and make sure that youth voices are heard in every single way possible.
As part of a statewide effort to bridge the gap between the younger generation and government, the Attorney General and her team were at Girls Inc. this past Thursday, presenting to and hearing from the young people they represent.
We're hosting a youth listening session, which is a continuation of youth listening sessions we've been doing across the Commonwealth as we look to get off the ground a youth advisory council so young people are informing the very work we're doing on their behalf. So delighted to be in Lynn with two incredible organizations to hear from young people on the issues they care about, what they think we need to be doing better, and also what we might be doing well. Young people are often discounted, but they do care, as we see by the numbers of folks that have shown up during a vacation week is really exciting.
When I was 8 months old, my mom actually died in a car accident going to visit my father, who was incarcerated at the time. She literally was driving to visit him in prison with my older brother, who was 2 years old at the time, gets in a car accident and suddenly passes away on the scene. Then my father gets out of prison when I'm 8 years old. That was the first time I ever met him. And although he was quote unquote a criminal, he did the best he could to raise us. And I graduated from Boston Latin School, was the first in my family to go to college. I went up to Princeton University, and then I went to UCLA for law school. And I share just a snapshot of that story because I think it's important. Not to say, oh, look at me, but to say, when I say we do this work with a sense of urgency, we really do. None of us are here to waste time. We really do want to see this generation and the next do better than the last generation. And to give you the tools, the opportunities, and everything that you deserve and legally are entitled to be able to reach your full potential too.
We look at a time where young people feel disconnected from government, that government and governmental leaders and elected leaders are not working on their behalf. We're coming in saying we want to build a relationship between young people and the AG's office. And how do we do that? It's sharing who you are, right? And so a piece of that is sharing my story with the hopes that it connects to some of their story.
What do you hope the young kids, after all the discussions are had today, take away from this event?
That their Attorney General and my incredible team is here to help them, to support them, and to give them supports, opportunity to protect them and their rights, and also to center them in the work, which I think is important, because at the end of the day, we all do this, not just as AG, but also as a mom of 2 young boys, to make sure the next generation does better than the last. And they have to be a part of this conversation if that's going to come true.
At the plate, the sports update. Despite the soggy weather, an intense Tech vs. KIPP game at Fraser turned up the heat. The Tigers got the 8-7 win in a game full of impressive plays, beginning with an inside-the-park home run by Tiger speedster Robin Valdez to lead off the third inning. Panther and 2 sports star Chanel Gutierrez stole home on a simple catcher-to-pitcher throw. Going into the 7th, KIPP held the 6-4 advantage, but the Tigers went single, walk, steal, and sacrifice grounder to cut the deficit to 6-5. The Panthers then walked in 2 runs before Jaden Barringer stole home for the 8-6 Tech lead. KIPP had a shot, scoring on a single to make it 8-7, and had runners on second and third with no outs. Unfortunately for them, Tigers ace Will McCaffrey forced a pop fly to the shortstop and struck out 2 to secure the win for Tech. The Tigers won again, tripling up on Neshoba 15-5 at home and trampling Notre Dame 13-2. Against Neshoba, 4 Tigers registered multi-hit games. Versus Notre Dame, Chris Boyd shined, throwing 7 strikeouts while going 3 for 5 at the plate. On the flip side, KIPP lost again 9-4 to Mystic Valley and are still seeking their first win. The Tigers softball team did not fare any better, traveling to Mystic Valley and coming home empty, 12-0. The St. Mary's baseball team quadrupled up on Sacramento 8-2 as their 3 pitchers combined for 13 strikeouts, including Diaz, who ended the game 1-2-3 with 3 punchouts. 2 more wins followed, first besting Skowahen 4-2, led by Rowan Merriweather, going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs in the box, before coming back from a 5-0 7th inning deficit to beat Without Walls 6-5, preserving their undefeated season at 5-0. On the 15th, Classical and English squared off, with the Rams grabbing the 9-6 victory. Classical got off to a quick start, scoring 6 in the first 2 innings. Rolke Bree launched a 2 RBI triple into the outfield in the first, with Andreas Figueroa registering the final RBI of the inning. In the second, it was Almani Gerardillo's turn to hit a triple, scoring another run. By the final inning, the score favored the Rams 9-3, thanks in large part to Figueroa, who struck out 8 Bulldogs on the day and recorded 2 RBIs. English kept fighting but fell short despite scoring 3 in the final frame off 2 bases-loaded walks and an RBI single by senior Lynn Rodriguez. In softball, these longtime rivals also squared off, with Classical again the victor 14-2. Leading the way was Lauren Wilson and Brooke Braswell. Wilson went 4 for 4 with a triple, 2 RBIs, and 4 runs scored, while Braswell had 4 hits, a double, and 4 RBIs. Pitcher Rachel Dana struck out 10, only allowing 1 earned run. Both teams won their next games, the Bulldogs 9-1 to Chelsea, as Kate Johansson went 2 for 4 with 3 runs and 2 RBIs and struck out 17 on the mound in a complete game. They then beat Tech 18-3 behind multi-hit games from 5 Bulldogs. They scored multiple runs in the first inning and never looked back, stealing bases left and right to set up RBI opportunities in almost every inning. For Classical, they dominated Somerville 21-2 in 5 innings. Naveth F. led the charge, knocking in 6 RBIs, including a 3-run inside the park home run in the 3rd. 3 players also recorded their first varsity hits. The St. Mary's girls lacrosse team won their last 2 games, 11-8 over Malden Catholic and 16-12 over Archbishop Williams. Believe it or not, versus Malden, 2 Spartans scored all 11 goals. Ava Nason with 8, while Cassidy Cheney notched a hat trick. Between the pipes, Emerson Hitchion recorded the first ever goaltender win for the school by a 6th grader. In a shootout with Williams, Nason and Cheney again had 8 and 3 goals respectively, this time joined by 3 other scorers for the win. The Tech volleyball team broke the 500 mark, beating Collegiate Charter of Lowell in straight sets in enemy territory. 4 Tigers recorded at least 1 ace on the night. Rams volleyball also landed in the win column, defeating Wakefield 3-0. Classical boys tennis defended their home court with a clean sweep 5-0 over Revere, winning several matches 6-0, but their girls team fell 3-2. The boy Bulldogs won 4-1 against Revere. After a fast start, the Red Sox are back to 10-10, struggling to combine strong pitching with production on the offensive side. They did manage a 2-0 victory over the Guardians, winning at home for the first and only time this season. The Celtics finished the regular season at 64-18, winning their final 2 games 131-98 over the Charlotte Hornets and 132-122 against the Washington Wizards. With the playoffs coming up and the top seed secure, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and others were watching these games. However, with such a deep bench, 5 Celtics still put up double-digit nights against the Hornets, while Peyton Pritchard took full advantage of the opportunity, grabbing 31 points, 11 assists, and 3 rebounds in 31 minutes of play. Playing 44 minutes versus the Wizards, he had 38 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, leading the way in all categories. As a team, they scored at least 30 points in the first 3 periods. In a high-scoring game which saw a combined 52 shots on net, the Bruins came out on top 6-4. 6 different Bruins scored, including Pavel Zacha, who recorded a goal and assist. 7 other players tacked on the remaining assists. Linus Ullmark recorded his 22nd save of the year between the pipes. In their final regular season game, they lost 3-1 to the Ottawa Senators to conclude the year at 47-20-15. The Lynn Community Health Center gained a new CEO this past January, and she came on the Lowdown to discuss her first few months in the role, including her passion for community health and goals moving forward. Here is the Lowdown. Hello and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we are going to be discussing the services of Lynn Community Health Center with their new CEO. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Brenda Rodriguez, the new Chief Executive Officer of Lynn Community Health Center, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Great, and you've been in this role for a little over 2 months now.
Yes.
How's it been going there?
I mean, Lynn, as you know, is a vibrant community, and our health center is no different. It's dynamic, there's so much going on, and I just jumped right in.
And going into it, did you have any specific goals or places that you wanted to target, or was it a bit more of a general approach?
I mean, I would say it's a general approach, but intentional. Mm-hmm. And so Lynn is a special place, but it's unlike other healthcare organizations in that we're here to serve the needs of our most resilient patients, our most resilient and strong community members who have barriers to access. And so first and foremost, as a longtime community health center patient, my intention is always to improve patient access and to make sure that we're doing right by our community members and improving their healthcare outcomes and treating the whole person.
And you just mentioned it a little, but what initially attracted you to this job when you saw it?
I mean, the organization, we found each other, and so I'll say that. And my heart is for the community. I care about health equity, reducing healthcare disparities, and that is my life's purpose, and that's my personal mission. And I know being here at Lynn Community Health Center, serving this community, that I can do that. And I hope that I can make a difference, and I believe that I can.
Definitely. So you can just even tell from 2 minutes how passionate you are and how much you care. And why would you say it's so important to have a health center like this here in Lynn?
Well, Lynn Community Health Center, we are the largest healthcare practice in this community. We are the best answer, and we're really the main solution for patients and community members that have complex needs. Our patients have many desires, and really the health center is one of the unique places that can address their comprehensive needs. So whether it's behavioral health services, whether it's primary care, prenatal services, whether they need assistance with housing or transportation, whether they need a patient advocate, whether they need assistance with a referral and getting to a specialist. There are very few practices that can do that, and we're well equipped to handle those needs, and we're very proud of that work.
You allow it to be a little more of a one-stop shop kind of thing. Instead of having to go to 5 different places, they can go to you and get some of the services they need.
Yes.
And you mentioned it a little bit, but one big thing that was opened within the last year was also an in-house pharmacy.
Yes.
So how does that help people too?
So we are very proud of managing a pharmacy right on site with our partners, with C3. And it provides, first of all, patient access. And so our patients, they can be seeing their provider, their clinician, and right there in our building, and it's very convenient for them, they can get the medications that they need. They can also receive more education around their treatment. And so in terms of integrated care, it helps with that. And I think that is what every patient deserves, every community member needs, not only access, but the confidence and assurance that they're getting this service in an integrated way, where their clinician, their provider, and everyone across this care of services knows what they're receiving, and they're aware of how this is helping them with improving their health.
That understanding. And one thing you mentioned earlier, which I thought was interesting, is you say you treat the whole person. What did you mean by that?
We treat the whole person. We treat the whole person. So, we have patients and community members that, they may come in because they have issues with hypertension, let's say. And so, but we may, in consulting with them, realize that really, we want to help them manage their stress better. So we work in a collaborative fashion with our other care team members to ensure that whether it's advising them on stress management, whether it's actually looking at their medications, or advising them around their nutrition, or really assisting them with something that their family needs, whether that is related to schools or the transportation or housing, that we're doing that. So we are full human beings, and we really, when we're treating our patients, we really need to look at the entire person and their entire needs. And that is about dignity and respect when our patients are coming to see us.
Definitely trying to get to the core root of what's happening, not just treating symptoms.
Absolutely.
And I said you've only been here a few months now, but
yes.
Which is amazing. I mean, it seems like you've already accomplished so much, but going forward into this next year, what do you hope will happen within your first year as CEO?
So I actually today had shared with the entire organization my year one goals, so things that I'm personally going to be driving. And so there are 4 areas that I'm focused on right now in order to set the foundation for these big, bold moonshot things that we want to do in the future. But first, we want to get our house in order. First, we want to get back to some basics. And so what does that look like? For us, that's looking at our roles and how we're defining the work that we're doing, how we're structured, and making sure that we're all clear on our responsibilities and we're supporting each other. And so we want to make sure that we put the right staff investments in there to do that. We're also going to be engaging in a new strategic planning process. And so around every 5 years or so, usually companies and organizations, they look at their goals, they look at their vision and their mission, and we're going to go through the exercise of looking at our organizational values, making sure that they're driving the right behaviors, and making sure that we are setting the course for what our organization is going to do and the impact it's going to have over the next 5 and 10 years. We're focused on inclusion, making sure that every member, every colleague feels valued and knows that they're making a difference. And we want to make sure we have programming to make that systematic, institutionalizing that. And the last piece that we're focused on this year, and I am personally driving, is what I call amplify with exclamation. We want to let the world know the amazing work that we're doing here in Lynn and that our colleagues are doing. We want to elevate patient voices and patient stories. And so we're hoping that our funders and our partners and our stakeholders in the community hear and see the beautiful gem that is Lynn Community Health Center and the work that we're doing.
And you are already doing that. I even saw on Facebook you post bios of your staff members so people get to see them, you know, put a face to a name and hear their stories.
Absolutely. We started a campaign because for Women's National History Month, we wanted to recognize and celebrate the women across our organization from different roles. And so the beauty of healthcare and being in a community health center, we have providers, clinicians, we have community health workers, we have nurses and people in marketing and in IT and finance. So we, Women Power, we have, you know, we touch so many different aspects of healthcare, and we deserve to be recognized. And certainly, yes, that is what we're doing, celebrating our women this month, but every day.
Yes, every day. And I said, I love the campaign, the way you were doing that.
Yes,
it was really great. So another thing you mentioned too was the community support program, the community aspect of it. Did you want to touch on that, how that works?
Yeah, so the community support program essentially is, we've been doing as a healthcare organization, we've been doing work out in the community for decades. The difference now is that we're organizing those efforts. And so our community support program includes patient navigators, community health workers that are helping patients from everything from just understanding how to make an appointment and how to get a referral to a specialist, all the way to really helping them with transportation, assisting them with, if there's food insecurity, making sure that we are connecting them to those services. And related to that, we also have a very robust benefit enrollments team. So as we have people that are either, whether they're new arrivals or they've been part of the Lynn community for decades, we want to make sure that people have insurance and they understand the insurance products that are out there for them. And so there's a lot that we're doing, but the community support program is a vital component and an area that we're investing in, and we hope to see the impact in the Lynn community.
And between that and the outreach and everything you do, you really you try to impact the whole person, the whole community. And I do have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else I hadn't touched on that you wanted to mention?
I would just say that, don't count us out. Lynn Community Health Center is a vibrant place. And we serve patients from all walks of life, and we're very proud of doing that. And just want to thank the community, and thank you today for giving me the opportunity to share our story.
Of course, thank you for coming on. I said, you can just tell the passion coming off of you, and I'm so happy you were able to come on and share some of that with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, thank you. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Now, the community calendar. Another installation of the Pickering Middle School building public hearings is taking place on Tuesday the 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. This one will feature a general overview of the project, as well as upcoming construction activities. Members of the community are encouraged to come and hear from the team, as well as ask any questions they may have. Next Thursday the 25th is the Spring Student Work Showcase for Climate Ready Lynn at Brade Middle School from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Come hear about this joint project between the City of Lynn and Master of Urban Planning students from the Harvard Graduate School of Design. The Climate Ready initiative has been working to envision how climate adaptation can improve quality of life and equity outcomes, as well as ways Lynn can better prepare for the impacts of climate change. The Common will be taken over by Cacorona Center Incorporated next Saturday the 27th to celebrate the Khmer New Year. The festivities will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., beginning with the parade that will weave through the city before ending at the Common. Attendees can enjoy performances, live music, prizes, games, and for the first time, food trucks. That is all the news for this week. As always, go to lyntv.org to access staff and member content, as well as our complete community calendar, all for free. And subscribe to Lynn Community Television on YouTube for videos ranging from events to talk shows to sports. To stay up to date on all things Lynn, follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Deulis Brothers Construction.